back.
Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered. The car is getting way out of shape, but taking the lead.
Paul Tracy from third spot.
Oh, and
Allmendinger around, hit from behind. You saw Tracy making a bid down the inside, and I think he was caught off guard by how early. And look at this pileup. You've got Allmendinger started that, but there's about 6 cars. That's Justin Wilson, and that's Alex Sparafico in the yellow and red MyJack car. I think that's Jimmy Vasser to the extreme left of the screen.
And Nelson Philippe, I think, is also involved in the incident. So a major confrontation in the first turn. And here it is once again. First of all, watch Tracy go to the inside.
Was not expecting Junqueira to brake that early. He wasn't trying to pass there, but when Junqueira hit the brakes, he couldn't avoid him. He jerked to the left, ended up in the lead.
Looked like that Rodolfo Levin may have run into Allmendinger to cause him to spin. And then
here's Nelson Philippe in the blue and white car.
Yep. And from another angle, we should be able to see, well, no, Levin did not hit him. He was on the outside of him, but I don't believe there was contact. But in any case, Allmendinger goes around, and that causes a big mess behind him.
Might have been Justin Wilson that got in the back. If we see that, I was so focused on the pass for the lead on the first replay. I think we'll be able to tell from that if we show that first replay again.
That's Vasser there on the far left of your screen that got into the wall and the tire barrier. So and
this is what I was talking about with turn 1. You've got all this pent-up aggression. Okay, watch Allmendinger, the yellow car on the inside of your screen, about 6 or 7 cars back. It is Levine. Levine gets into his rear, even though he's on the outside.
Yep. A little bit of contact between the two, but enough to send Allmendinger around. Vasser has already hit the wall, and there is Nelson Philippe. Down to Calvin Fish.
Down here with the president of Rouge Sport, Jeremy Dale. Jeremy, not the start you wanted.
Well, basically, the push to pass is new this year. All the drivers are pretty excited about it.
Push to pass is a momentary increase in horsepower and RPM to allow a driver to get a little more oomph to pass someone.
It's this green button here. When we come out of the corners, push the button, and it gives you instantaneously a 50 horsepower on command.
I can boost speed by another 2 to 3 miles per hour.
Each straight's about 10 seconds. It depends on how the driver uses it. We'll get to use it about 6 to 8 times in a race.
The system will activate, raise the boost, and will not return to normal function until the timer expires or until the driver lifts off the gas pedal for more than 1 second.
It's a part of our race that we really can't strategize for before the race. It's something that the driver's going to have to go out and do on its own, which is pretty unique.
A driver only has 60 seconds, so he has X amount of pushes, and there's strategy involved.
Unlike Ryan, I got it planned out. I'm using it off the start and finishing it completely, because I figure if I just pass everybody off the start, we'll be good. But no, as Ryan said, you can't strategize for it.
Pushing the button and just holding the gas pedal down, not always going to result in a pass. And as that time ticks away, it can't be replaced.
For me, it's great to keep the rookies behind me that get trigger happy with this new button.
Monterrey, you're not going to be close enough to me to use the push pass button.
Oh, you're right. You got a point there. I'll be too far ahead.
No way, man. No way. Way behind me. Way behind me.
Oh, in trouble. One car into the wall. It's one of the MyJack cars. Is that Justin Wilson? He's knocked off a winglet, spins the MyJack car to get it pointed in the right direction. Early trouble, and the yellow is waving after 1 lap here at the Milwaukee Mile. And that was what we had talked about, Tommy. Not on the air. You and I had talked about the possibility of someone on the outside getting stuck in the marbles going right to the wall.
And now that's the first time that Justin Wilson has experienced that degree of turbulence. So he's been trying to sneak up on it a little bit by little bit, but now all of a sudden those wings and the underbody of that MyJet car were not getting clean air, and it's literally like someone just kind of reaches up and pushes up underneath the car. Not nearly as much grip. The car just kind of floating around.
Now the MyJack crew quickly puts the car up on the air jacks. They will put a new nose piece on the 34. Show you what happened. Take a look. You're looking for the yellow and red car. There's Wilson. Just got away from him.
Yeah, he was on the outside. You saw Allmendinger underneath him there, and that's what happens. Low tire pressure, low tire temp, and he probably thought he was being conservative.
Could have been a very, very hard hit into the wall. He managed to straighten the car out a little bit before he got there.
And the only contact was the nose on the wall, so that didn't hit either of the corners, so I think the alignment should be fine, other than some frayed.
Lap 83 of 250 at the Milwaukee Mile. A lot of people wondered why Gaston Mazzacani would pick an oval to make his Champ Car debut. He's probably wondering the same thing, Tommy Kendall.
Yeah, that's a good question, but I think he probably said an oval, how tough can it be? You know, from afar, if you haven't been exposed to it, that's kind of the thought. You're like, oh, it's an oval. You know, it's a slow one. Mile, well, slow, 180 miles an hour average speed is not slow.
Things happen quick. A lot of drivers, as we said at the top of the broadcast, consider this a bull ring. You're lapping this place in 22 seconds. Mazzacani got caught out coming off turn 2. It's been the trouble point for several drivers, including champion Paul Tracy. He side slaps the wall in 2, knocks the back wing off Dale Coyne's AMR car. Nearly had that car take off. It stays nailed to the ground, though, and Mazzacani was able to hop out, and he appears to be okay. Derek Daly.
Team owner is Dale Coyne. Dale, going through one of your best seasons.
You know, I wish I had a tour guide. Oh, look, AJ.
I'm Ed John here. I'll be your tour guide today. I was wondering if you'd like some beef summer sausage or some Wisconsin cheese.
Well,
I have it all here.
I guess the summer sausage because it supposedly makes you go faster. How about the world famous cream puffs?
You know, to be honest, I've never had a cream puff.
So we have burgers and soda and beer and brats. What's a brat?
I have no clue what a brat is. I'm just a guy wearing a cheese head. This huge slide here is the colors of my favorite NFL football team, the Green Bay Packers. And all I'd love to know is if Brett Favre would come out and one day drive the 2-seater with the Champ car and, you know, have me be his personal driver, because I absolutely love Brett Favre. So Brett, if you're watching, please come out and drive the 2-seater either at Milwaukee or Road America. It'd be great to have you. Now, one problem is, though, where's Bronte?
So thanks for the tour, AJ. I know you got to go back to racing. I can hear the cars back out there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be your personal tour guide. Call me anytime you need to know anything about Wisconsin or a cheesehead, especially the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre. You can ask me, but you're right. There are cars out there. My engineer's going to be mad that I'm not out there driving right now.
Oh, wait, give me the cheese hat. You got to get your helmet on, so.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Waving with 2 laps to go. White flag being shown, and Rodolfo Levine has whacked the wall in the Forsyth Corona beer car. Levine, who was up in the top 5, he was shown 7th with a couple of laps left. Good run tonight for the young Mexican driver. Ends against the wall in turn 4. Wow, wild finish. So this one may well end under caution. The white flag being shown the field. And it looks as though Ryan Hunter-Reay will complete a flag-to-flag run tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. They will not be able to remove the 3-car, Levine's machine, in time to finish under the checkered flag. And we will see the checkers next time by for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Surprising it, everyone had been nice and clean for a good long time.
I suspect if we get a replay of that, you'll see here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Fans are standing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Ryan Hunter-Reay waving to the
of the year honors last year, posting 3 victory and 5 pole positions, and so this is the 15th race that he has led.
That's Dominguez, who is, you saw the dirt in the prior shot. Dominguez went off the outside of turn 1.
And what a disappointment for the Mexican driver, qualifying in 2nd position.
Career best effort for him. It's hard to overstate how big it is for the Mexicans racing on their home soil. And thus far, he has thrived under the pressure. Mexico City last year finished 2nd. Take a look at the onboard, getting into turn 1. A little bit too hot, carries too much speed off the outside.
And Junqueira was right behind him, but again, no contact. Mario Dominguez has only finished outside the top 10 5 times last year. And the last time he finished outside the top 10 was Mid-Ohio last year. But right now, things have gone wrong for him on the second lap, spinning in turn number 1. Jan Beekes is in Dominguez pit.
And what is surprising to me, Bob and Tom,
that when as soon as they start to put some tension on it, there we have Tarso Marquez off the outside of, can't tell what turn that is just yet. But as I was saying, the sequential shifter, there's a strain gauge in the shifter. This is coming down in turn 6. Marquez gets pushed off the outside. I think that was Ryan Hunter-Reay who was applying pressure to Marquez.
One of 5 drivers to be competing here for the very first time. The others are Gonzalez, Wilson, Philippe, and Sparafico. So Marquez's car sits along the side of the road, and the full course caution is once again being called for here at Monterrey. Down to Rick Benjamin in Justin Wilson's pit. Wilson having a strong race so far in 3rd. California in 2002. And another yellow as Nelson Philippe once again is off course.
And you know who is smiling big time right now? All those cars, Mario Dominguez and Rodolfo Levine, are in big time good shape.
Yep.
That was a chain reaction. You saw Allmendinger get crossed up, Gonzalez, and then Haberfeld got into the back of Philippe while he was checking up for the cars in front of him.
Looks like a little damage to the front end of Haberfeld's car also. So another full course caution here in Monterrey, because Nelson Philippe will get a tow from the track. Another full course caution on the racetrack here at the Ducati Telmex Monterrey Grand Prix. Oriol Servi has slid into the tires, and the rescue crew has arrived. Started 4th a year ago, was involved in a lap 38 incident that left him in 18th position. Here's a replay of what happened just a few moments ago. Ooh, over those barriers and into the tires. And in 2003 here at Monterrey,
almost the Xerox copy.
Exactly the same. Went in at a little bit different angle, but
caused different. That one he hit the curb and it's spun around. This year he got into you can see his wheels locked up and he hit the second curb.
And it was almost were cautioned because of an incident involving Haberfeld and Rodolfo Levine.
That was Haberfeld on the right of the screen trying to get underneath Levine. Levine turned in. That's a pretty late move by Haberfeld. Yeah, you can see what. That's Shakir on the right with the white nose. See Tagliani way down on the inside next to A.J. Allmendinger.
4 wide into 1. Oh, contact. I think he got that car. That's Jourdain going up over into the dirt. Only 1 car damaged.
Yeah, not too bad. They got lucky. It'll be interesting to see. Bourdais beat Junqueira to turn 1. But
full course caution.
Full course caution. So that car is stuck in the gravel.
So Michel Jourdain Jr., who really had a breakout season a year ago, gesturing quickly, wants a tow out of the dirt so that he can get refired. Here they go again. And Tommy, look at this, 4 or 5 wide. Brake lock up.
Yeah, we see some brake lock up. I think it was one of the Herdez cars. I'm pretty sure that was Hunter-Reay who got into Jourdain.
One more look as they came to the green flag. Look at Tagliani diving to the bottom.
Yeah, he had Allmendinger trying to squeeze him off there. Finally left him just enough room. That's Jourdain on the far right of your screen with the red nose. A little squeeze play there. Hunter-Reay was squeezed between the 2 cars on the inside. Or actually, that might have been Dominguez. It's hard to tell which Herdez car that was. But you have 4 cars funneling together, and I think the Herdez car moved to the left to give the 2 cars on the right a little room and got into Jourdain.
Well, they put the pin through the roll hoop to pull the car out with a strap. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the festival curves, something we see all the time at the start of the race. 1992. Take a look, I believe that'd be from Bobby Rahal's car.
Now watch this, it's a few years later, 98. That's Greg Moore climbing over the top. And
just 2 years ago, several cars didn't even make the turn there.
And there's nothing more frustrating than, you spend a whole weekend here and your race lasts 100 yards or so.
All right, so Michel Jourdain is on the hook. They're under caution. Jan Beekes.
Well, you know, this is not the time of the race we would normally.
Duration is a big key here.
Oh, trouble. One car sideways as we come to the restart. One of the Herdez cars, contact with Rodolfo Levine's machine. Car spinning down the front straightaway as we try to restart. Here at Portland, Levine's car heavily damaged. One of the Herdez cars, I guess that would be Ryan Hunter-Reay's car.
No, that was Dominguez, right? And we were looking from Ryan's car, and Dominguez.
That's right.
Save fuel, stay out.
Heavily damaged Herdez car. That would be Dominguez in the 55, who had a good starting spot here today. And fifth in the standings, the season championship standings coming in. Dominguez on the outside of the third row, Rodolfo Levine, who's been so impressive.
Yeah, and that was just an innocent bystander in terms of Rodolfo Levine getting clipped by Dominguez. But we're going to, I think, get another look at this.
That would be an incident of cold tires, I imagine.
Cold tires and the boost coming on. That's clearly what that is. The first of the Herdez, the green and white cars, right behind the yellow car of Allmendinger. See, he's fighting it all the way.
Squirrely, yeah. Locks the brakes down, but then the car rolls back.
He let off the brakes, and that's where he clipped Levine.
Wow. So a lot of debris scattered down the front straightaway. 2 cars heavily damaged. Our second incident, we haven't put one green flag lap on the board here this afternoon.
Yes.
Another look as we take a look back down the front straightaway. And there you can see the 55 of Mario Dominguez, the second Herdez car going around. One of the Forsyth cars, the Corona Beer car, Rodolfo Levine, getting tagged, and that car heavily damaged as well. We've got an onboard look at this for you. Ryan Hunter-Reay's view as they came to the flag.
See Hunter-Reay dialing in some opposite lock, experiencing the same wheel spin. You can see the hands starting to jitter. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? The rule there generally is you aim for the wreck, and generally speaking, the wreck will be gone by the time you get there. He was close enough to be in for the open spot, the outside.
Yeah, because a lot of damage to those race cars.
Indeed. We are with Tom Brown, who makes the calls.
Underway. Tracy goes way left. 5 wide. Contact. Tracy goes around. Parts littering the racetrack. A couple of cars are in the grass. One of the MyJack cars is stopped on the racetrack. That is Justin Wilson, the outside pole sitter.
And what happened there is that's Paul Tracy's kind of signature move. He does it when he starts in the back. He goes way to the left. That is the normal preferred line to set up for turn 1 when you're all by yourself. He figured if he could get in there deep and turn, he'd be fine. But what happened is Wilson started heading for the inside, but then got clipped by another car and knocked back into Tracy.
Calvin Fish downstairs.
We're down here with Eric Bachelard, who manages this team. And Eric, we saw Justin go into that corner and make a sudden dive for the apex. Did you see on the monitor? What are your thoughts?
Well, just talking with Justin right now, I mean, he was a bit surprised because Paul was on the outside and Justin went on the inside, and then Paul turned right on him. So that's his comment. So doesn't seem very good from what I can see on TV. It seems the suspension is damaged, so it's a shame.
A big shame, because that was a tremendous qualifying performance by Justin Wilson. He is a rookie, of course, in this series, and typically a rookie will have seen Cleveland before, maybe in Toyota Atlantic or something else, but this was his first visit to this racetrack, so big disappointment for this team. Let's go down to Double D, Derek Daly.
With Neil Mickelwright, team manager for Paul Tracy. Neil, turn 1 is the signature corner at Cleveland. We know there's action. Do we know is Paul's car damaged?
Yeah, it is damaged. It appears to be damaged on the right-hand side. Right now, we're trying to ascertain the degree of damage to see whether we need to stop or whether we can continue.
Thank you, Neil. So it obviously is not too much damage, but Paul Tracy, who started on the pole, thought he was in the safest position to be able to control this, because remember, there's a new rule this weekend here. You cannot pass any car before you go by the start-finish line, which should have technically given Tracy a little advantage.
Well, Tracy's signature move here is to go wide left into turn 1 at Cleveland to avoid the carnage. Did he turn in too soon, Tommy, as we take another look?
Well, in a way, he almost, I mean, you can't blame this on Paul Tracy, but in a way, you got these guys that just can't help themselves. When they see daylight on the inside, whether it's a good move or not, they're going to go for it. So, in hindsight, you could go down the inside and just back everybody up early, but you certainly can't blame him. But leaving the inside wide open invited those guys. They just can't. It's like a pack of wild dogs and some hamburger meat.
Rookie Justin Wilson, who started on the outside pole, dove to the inside. The nose of the MyJack Lola heavily damaged, and it looks as though Wilson's day is over before one turn is complete. Back downstairs, Jan Beekes.
Well, we talked about Paul Tracy, but think about his
12 gallons in the tank when he was running out on the racetrack, so they're going to look at that carefully and see if he can make the full stint.
A.J. Allmendinger, Calvin, goes around, doesn't hit anything, but wow, a 360 and gets it out of gear.
Kept it running, though, it looks like.
Yep, just missed coming down to turn 8 there, and that's a place where we've seen several drivers brush the wall this weekend. Allmendinger will give up a lot of ground. Servia got by him. Here's another look.
This is easy to do. There's that big bump. You see the back suspension bouncing on the tires, and then right about there is when you go to the brakes and it transfers some weight forward onto the front wheels. If you're a little bit loose when you have to slow the car down, it's not straight line braking. That's exactly what happened. Back jumped around.
Was that good driving or luck that he didn't hit the tire barriers?
Well, it was probably good fortune. If it happened a little bit later, he would have been going faster. That's mostly good fortune.
So the rookie A.J. Allmendinger.
Keeping it running, getting going again, that's good driving.
The rookie A.J. Allmendinger gets... Oh, trouble. One of the Herdez cars, Ryan Hunter-Ray, had just passed Servia. He spins on a fast part of the racetrack. I'm sure there'll be at least a local caution, and he's stalled. He's dead in the water, full course yellow. Ah, tough break for Ryan Hunter-Ray. Calling for help to try to get the 4-car refired. Cold tires, Tommy?
Yeah.
Squeezing the throttle a little too hard.
That's a tough part of the racetrack. You have a very similar dynamic to the combo that was causing all the trouble coming onto the front straightaway. Whenever you come onto these taxiways, there's a big compression, and the front side of the runway that you're hitting first is basically banked towards you. Then when you go over the crown of the road, it's crowned to keep the water running off for the airplanes landing. You have this big compression, all this energy stored in the rear springs.
Side by side with Servia, trying to get by him here on the outside. That's what upset the car.
Oh, and they got together. Basically, he's trying to pinch it. Makes it even tighter when he hits that compression.
Clipped Servia on the way by. He had the inside line on that left-hander, but...
I'm not sure if they hit. Well, we're going to see.
Can't tell really from that. It was a little after whatever happened, but perhaps Servia just ran him out of road.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's on the outside of the right-hander. It makes the left-hander a lot tighter. This view might show it. This view probably will.
Good look here. Wiggles the car.
I don't think they hit. I think he just had to pinch it so tight that in on the cold tires and hitting the bump sent him away.
The inside.
Dominguez got in the wall on the outside. He and Bruno together.
Junqueira racing for the championship, being conservative. Hard hit into the tire barrier. Will be caution at least in that part of the track, and it is a full course yellow. Tracy and Bourdais down the back straightaway, but they will back off and tuck in. First lap, Tommy Kendall.
Well, you saw Mario Dominguez said he was going to the front. He stayed up on the outside of Bruno Junqueira going through turn 1. I don't think Bruno saw him there. He was just off a little bit. They don't have spotters. I think Bruno let it out to the wall, not knowing Mario was right next to him in the big squeeze play. Another incident looks like A.J. Allmendinger down in turn 3 with the yellows out.
Allmendinger has gotten offline. He gets pointed in the right direction. Here we are from the 4th starting spot. Dominguez
coming on the outside.
Cold tires here. Junqueira just clouded Dominguez.
Yep, he didn't realize that Mario was staying up on his outside there.
And there you can see the gesture. One more look from a little deeper angle.
And the concrete that Bruno is on is extremely slippery.
A hard hit into the tire barrier. There's Bruno Junqueira with the green and yellow helmet. Dominguez is out. Both drivers appear to be fine, but one would assume those cars are done for the afternoon. Here's another look at it. You can see the wheel off of the Herdez car, the 55 of Dominguez, and he and Junqueira just had nowhere to go but into the wall. Now, Tommy, side by side on the start like that, why would Bruno Junqueira not think there's a car alongside him?
Well, if you look, when they first hit the brakes, Dominguez was not up alongside. And so when they turned in, Dominguez was making a run from the center of the corner out. So he was out of Bruno's view and was coming back in. He was almost wheel to wheel with him.
Yeah.
But he in these cars, you really can't see very well out the sides with the head restraints have gotten built up and so forth. So I think he thought he was gone, got on the power, started to drift out.
We're being told has had a problem. He's gone into the tires at the end of the backstretch. Now, is that a hard enough impact to break the race car?
Probably not. Maybe the nose wings.
Let's see. This is Gidley in the blue and white lease plant car. Allmendinger swings inside him for 10th. And they touch. End of the front straightaway, end of the back straightaway. Those have been the two trouble spots. Gidley great veteran of this series. 164 Champ Car starts, I believe, he's made over the years. Has had a couple of podiums. It's been a couple of years that he's been away, but he's a wonderful character.
Not nearly that many starts. I think it's down in
30?
the 30 starts.
Right.
But what he's known for is he had a couple runs.
So a great weekend for Oriol Servia and his team. Meantime, Mimo Gidley's afternoon has come to an early end. He's gone into the concrete in the Lease Plan 17 out of the Rocket Sports Stables. The Champ Car Safety Team 3 is there. Dr. Chris Pendersky is the medical director for Champ Car, along with crew chief Mike Carey and the rest of the boys there to take care of Mimo and the race car. Third full course caution of the afternoon. We had the first one right off the drop of the green in turn 1 and 2, and it involved the series point leader Bruno Junqueira and Mario Dominguez, who qualified fourth. Meantime, this is Gidley's second incident of the day, Tom.
And that's in turn 6. Lost the back end and then overcorrected, snapped back the other way, locked the brakes up, and nosed into the wall.
Wilson says, no, you don't. Tracy goes to the inside. They touch. Tagliani gets involved. He gets through it somehow. Wilson goes around. Servia into the tires. Wilson able to drive away. They're going to have to come get Servia's car. Tough break for the YokeTV.com team. Here's the MyJack car turning around. Calvin Fish.
Eric, very frustrating indeed, Justin, as Evans.
Time today. This is right off the restart. Justin Wilson restarted second. Tracy jumped outside on the backstretch to try to get the spot away. Wilson went deeper.
Then he couldn't make the turn. He pushed wide here, so Tracy's trying to cross back underneath. Justin closed the door.
I think you lay the blame on that for Wilson.
Well, Wilson probably thought he recovered quick enough, and if he could get the door closed, it would be like it was never open. But if it's open for a second, you know that Tracy's going to try it. So
just one of those racing things.
Well, it kind of is. Wilson definitely slid wide, didn't get the car turned.
On board with Tracy. Here he is on the backstretch, pulling out of the draft.
Wilson really drives it in deep. Wow. Watch this.
Yeah. That's what caught my eye as he went down the inside. So
doesn't get a turn.
And Paul made contact with the right rear corner of the 34.
You got to say.
Michel Jourdain, the Gigante number 9. He is in fourth spot. Oh, trouble. Looks like one of the MyJack cars has gotten crossed up.
Wilson.
Justin Wilson once again. Stopped on the racetrack, yeah. No caution full courses yet. I'm sure a local yellow. He's got it running. And burns it out. Here's a look at what happened to Wilson behind Mazzacani. Full spin, or a half spin anyway. It was a 180. And we'll bump it around and get pointed in the right direction.
One key about Ryan Hunter-Reay, he's made 2 starts, but most importantly, they've both been...
Final stop of the day under green, but off pit road. He clipped the 9 car of Michel Jourdain. And Jourdain had nowhere to go, right into the concrete. His day is done. Second week in a row that Jourdain's gotten into the wall. Here is Tracy. Into the corner. There's Jourdain. And they make contact. Now again, Tommy, as you pointed out, no spotters. Did Paul even know he was there?
Yes.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
So Michel Jourdain very frustrated. Our 4th lead change of the day as Sebastian Bourdais takes over, and it is our 6th full course caution with 14 minutes, 10 seconds of racing to go under caution. Calvin Fish.
Jeremy Dale with
Servia. Down an escape road.
Frantically waving for the safety team to move in and get him going again. Let's see what happened. Well, the right side is locked up.
Big lockup.
Turn 6, I'll wager.
Sure
Usually
enough.
where that happens.
Yep, into the back straightaway.
So he misses the corner like so many before. The Champ Car safety team on hand very quickly as they'll get him turned around, see if they can get him underway. Meantime, Bourdais continues to run laps in front of the Forsyth people. He just ran a 63, his 7th trip around. He may have some hot laps left, and we'll be back to look at him. Do it absolutely correctly, and already Mazzacani has come to grief. I have no idea how that happened, but obviously his car is not going to make it to the green flag. A great irony here. Last year, Coyne cars didn't make it to the green flag. The 2 cars from the Dale Coyne stable. Let's see what happened.
Warming the tires. Wow.
The car suddenly hooks up and snaps on him.
Snaps out to the outside wall, ruins the left front suspension on cold tires during the first parade lap this was. And here comes the Champ Car safety team on hand to try and get that cleared away as quickly as possible. They have a big section of wing to go back there and pick up.
Now what happened is you weave from left to right to warm the tires, and then you gun it to warm up the rear tires. If you're still weaving when you gun it, it breaks loose, and that's what happened to Mazzacani.
Fairly unusual turn of events, but nonetheless, we lose one competitor prior. Levine holding up to the pressure. Patrick Carpentier moves to the outside, and we have contact as he tries to clear Sparafico, and also spinning. Is that Levine up there?
It is.
He's turned around as well, so he's trying to get it squared away. Carpentier backward, and now Levine has stalled the car. So two Forsyth cars in the corner at the same time come to a stop along with a MyJack car, and suddenly the yellow flag is out, and how quickly things do change.
Think of what would have happened if either one of these two, in particular Carpentier, would have gone ahead and pitted on lap number 19. Right now he would have caught a yellow, would have been right at the front of the group.
Instead, this is where they are. Patrick Carpentier, obviously you can see his response to the whole thing. Todd, did you hear us? Go ahead. While we're standing by for Todd Lewis, Carpentier is not to be consoled at this moment. Don?
Yeah, Chris, I just as Jan was mentioning the possibility of an early pit stop, checked in with the Carpentier pits. Their policy at the time was, well, we'll wait and see what everybody else does, and now they've paid the price.
Take a look at it. Here's Carpentier overtaking traffic.
Sparafico moves out of the way. He's already off the lead lap, and he didn't stay to the right. I know why Patrick Carpentier is so upset, because here a guy moves over for you, but then he doesn't hold it to the inside. Rodolfo Levine, unfortunately, just loses it all on his own. Had nothing to do with anyone else, just carried too much speed into turn number 1. But what a shame for Patrick Carpentier. Not his fault. You've got a slower car that lets you go by, and then he can't keep it to the inside and spears you.
This is on the front straightaway leading into turn number 1. Right about here is where she goes. There it goes. Rodolfo Levine spins around. Mario Dominguez, who was following, and you just wouldn't think you're going to get knocked out. And Justin Wilson again finds himself off the course.
He is in the runoff. I think that's probably at 6 from the look of the tires. You guys learn how to, yep, it is. Here's the entry, and let's see what happened. Well, that's that turning and braking you were talking about, Jan. I noticed that until he let his foot off the brakes, it did no turning, did it? Not at all. It went straight. And you can see the scrubs down there.
Leads. Junqueira is second. Tracy to third, and Ryan Hunter-Reay and Vassar touch. They both go around. Contact. Carpentier gets into Vassar. Trouble on lap 1. A couple of the drivers we thought would have great days possibly here today in big trouble. Full course yellow before one lap is in the books. Cars in the kitty litter and in the grass. Here it is again. One car out of shape. That was Hunter-Reay.
That was Hunter-Reay. I think what happened is he got through the kink better and had a run on Jimmy. And I think Jimmy, the straightaway isn't straight there, so cars are juking around. And I think Hunter-Reay got pushed out in the gray stuff. And I think that at that point he said, you know what? I think that ticked him off. He said, I'm coming down the inside for putting me out in the dirt there. And
Bourdais to retake the lead as they back off for the second full course yellow of the day. 13th corner just before the final turn up to the front straightaway. Roberto Gonzalez, who is running up in the top 11, puts the Nextel car off into the gravel.
Little fire going there, just starting to get going there on the back.
Little turbo fire back there. Gonzalez sounds like he's got the car running. I believe I hear the motor running there. But they've got to come get him because he is buried up to the gunnels in the Nextel number 21. So under caution for the second time today, Sebastian Bourdais is our leader. Back to that, here's Junqueira on the inside of Bourdais. Junqueira goes around, and he's in the groove. He releases the brakes and goes off into the kitty litter. Listen to Bruno Junqueira. Trying to check his in-car radio.
He's obviously...
That's not fair.
I believe he said that's not fair. Trying to spin the wheels and get it restarted, and full course yellow being displayed from Bruno Junqueira.
Dennis, that's not fair. He made a mistake, he has to let me pass.
Just relax, okay? Just relax, we'll get you out of the gravel. You have to come straight in the pits.
Junqueira off course, and you could hear the frustration in his voice, getting the word from his team that he needs to get pulled out of the gravel and come directly to pit road. Now, can he do all this? Junqueira picks up a spot. Tracy bumps him, takes out Junqueira, turns him around at turn 5. These two drivers running second and third in the championship. There's contact, and Junqueira dead in the water. Looked to me like Tracy just pulled out the chrome horn there, Tom. What do you think?
Well, what happened was he was on cold tires, and he couldn't. Once he got closer, then he lost downforce. So I mean, the fate was sealed when they went to the brake pedal. So but yeah, I mean, you could tell that was going to happen the minute he broke as close to Junqueira as he did. You could tell that was what was going down.
Junqueira is stalled. Junqueira trying to pass Paul Tracy here. Junqueira lap down.
Junqueira created that for himself. Junqueira was on the inside and he popped to the outside, and you cannot stop.
Well, and plus, being a lap down, do you race that hard?
Well, I mean, that was just, I mean, he thought he was clear, and so he eased to the outside, but Tracy hadn't hit the brakes yet, and so Bruno's pulls over in front of him, is on the brakes with hot tires. There's nothing Tracy can do about that.
Alex Spirafico and A.J. Allmendinger in trouble. Allmendinger has spun. He's rolling backwards down the racetrack. We may see another full course yellow here. The caution is out for the 5th time today. Obviously an incident between Spirafico and Allmendinger. Allmendinger has gone around. He's right in the groove. They've got to get a yellow flag out in that corner. So A.J. Allmendinger slapping the steering wheel. Very unhappy. Some contact with Alex Spirafico. Knocked a winglet off the front of the 14 car. We'll be back. Under time today here at Road America. 8th race of the 2004 Champ Car World Series season. A.J. Allmendinger brought out that caution after contact with Paul Tracy, our 5th full course yellow of the day. They bring the 10 car to pit road. The Roost Sport team puts new tires on, and they send Allmendinger back onto the racetrack. Let's take a look and show you what happened to bring out this caution just a moment ago. Allmendinger and Tracy got together on the backside of the racetrack.
They actually didn't get together. I don't think they touched.
Just Allmendinger driving too hard there?
Well, he was trying to get by, and he was trying to juice the throttle to get clear of Paul, and there's a slick spot about right here.
Where the pavement changes?
Yep.
Tommy, as a matter of fact, I just talked to Jeremy Dale. I said, what happened? He said, just spun it. There was no repercussion or no accusation, no mention of any contact whatsoever.
Allmendinger trying to squeeze to the end.
Look at this. More dicing back in the pack.
Justin Wilson, Rodolfo Levine, Nelson Philippe, his first drive for MyJack Conquest. Full course yellow on lap 1, and last week's winner, Alex Tagliani, broke the front wing off the 8 car. So caution waving here, and that's what a lot of these drivers were talking about early was, could we get through a lap?
Yeah, well, and like I said, you had 2 guys with huge incentive to make moves coming into a corner where it's almost impossible to make one. You saw Bourdais up on the rumble strips.
Did Junqueira not give him enough room there?
He crowded him, but I think it was probably payback. You know, it's probably about what he felt like happened.
On board Junqueira.
Definitely a bump. Definitely a bump. Almost a mirror copy of what happened last week.
So Junqueira comes away okay. They're going to have to come and get Alex Tagliani, last week's winner. Bourdais has refired. Full course caution to begin the fun in Denver. Take a look at this. Alex Tagliani with the 8 car minus its nose cone. Now remember, he got caught up in that tangle after Bourdais spun. There were 3 cars involved. He was dead in the water back there. It appears as though he has managed to keep himself from going no more than 1 lap down by doing this. They sent him off pit road moments ago, minus the new nose piece that they were ready to mount up. He's in front of the pace car right now.
Yes, he is, and so he's running as quickly as he can. He'll come into the pits again, and he'll have the nose wing put on. And this is heads-up stuff. This is years of endurance racing by Paul Gentilozzi leads to a call like this. This is what you do in the 24 Hours of Daytona and stuff like that. But they also impressed me last week. They really played that yellow-green flag stuff to a T.
Now let's take you back. This is on turn 1, lap 1. Points leader Sebastian Bourdais and his teammate Junqueira. You were riding with Junqueira. There was contact. Bourdais went around. So far, no penalty for Junqueira. Here's the look from Oriol Servia's view in 6th. He was able to get through cleanly. That's Mario Dominguez in the Urdez 55 immediately to his right. And the 8 car, the Johnson Control team on pit road, they brought him in, took the broken nose off, and the decision was made by Paul Gentilozzi, as Tommy pointed out, the team owner, to leave the nose off and send him back out. Calvin Fitt through 4. Here comes Bourdais. Bold move to the inside. Dominguez locks him up. Bourdais over the curve. They touch. Dominguez goes around. Bourdais to 2nd. Dominguez back on the hammer.
I have never seen a guy lose that little time on a spin.
Laying down black ribbons of tire rubber. Servia in trouble.
Chaos behind him.
Michel Jourdain trying to get by Servia, who was 6th on the restart. A.J. Allmendinger did get by him, so Allmendinger jumps up to 5th. Servia to 6th. Tracy continues to lead. On board Haberfeld. He's got Justin Wilson there with him in the MyJack car. Bourdais and Junqueira now running in 2nd and 3rd spots. They both got by Dominguez. They started on the front row, remember. Here's Tracy. Tracy jumps in front. Let's take a look at what happened off the restart.
You think those guys in the front were geeked up?
Oh, man. Well, you can see Bourdais reaching for it as they came off the final corner. Quick dive to the inside. Dominguez stayed in the middle, tried to protect, but he couldn't do it.
He stayed in the middle, and then he faded inside. Bourdais was almost mowed those cones down.
Junqueira took advantage to get back to 3rd. Here it is from Junqueira's onboard view. He was close to Bourdais, but Bourdais able to jet away on the next straightaway. Calvin Mundinger in 10th. Contact. Rodolfo Levine and Alex Tagliani back there battling for 10th. They get together in 9. Levine is stalled. Tagliani back on the button. So Tagliani, no caution. Local yellow, we're being told, is all they'll display in turn 9. We've had 2 full course yellows. The last one for Ryan Hunter-Reay, which led to this dramatic turnaround that has put Bourdais back in the lead. Here's a look at what happened. Wow, Levine up over the wheel of Tagliani. Didn't see what set that up, but they got together.
Looks like Tag was trying to get down the inside of Rodolfo.
And Levine went bouncing up over.
Yep.
So the Champ Car safety crew pushing the Corona beer car off the racetrack.
Okay, they're going to pull you back, and they'll try and start you from a safe area, so just get ready to restart.
Levine's radio traffic there.
And Tracy's car starting to come alive. He was 4/10 quicker than Bourdais that lap.
Only enough fuel on board as we have a quick spin for Haberfeld.
Gravel coming out of the suspension bits at the back as he got off the course. Let's take a peek at what happened.
Under braking. Talk about braking and turning at the same time. That's what can't happen. Oh, and amazing. Normally, you get that far into the gravel, and you are stuck.
Is this any advantage at all for anybody? Gonzalez?
Yeah. Gonzalez obviously got into trouble in the hairpin and needed to wanted to be sure he kept it running, and certainly no doubt about the fact that he still had power in his Ford Cosworth.
So he's on the straightaway, perhaps with a spoiled set of tires as he brings it back up to speed. Meantime, Michel Jourdain Jr. continues to move around. Junqueira has moved into the 2nd spot, 124.58. Let's take a look at what happened to Roberto.
Again, that's braking and turning at the same time, and just before it came to a stop, he was sure to get back to the throttle.
back at the Molson Indy Montreal. Ryan Hunter-Reay up against the wall. Here's what happened just a moment ago.
In the first chicane, ouch. He came off so early that he actually came off the course where there are no tires and just a direct, thankfully very slow head-on impact. That was just after the right, just as you would change typically direction from left to right. And Ryan Hunter-Reay has been complaining of a cold this weekend, but unfortunately a bigger problem now.
And that was the chicane almost to the hairpin at the other end of the course. Turns 8 and 9. Hard on the brakes as he went off 8, headed for 9. He scrubbed off most of the speed before he got to the barrier, and you can see it's concrete blocks with a plywood fence above it. There are no energy absorption capacity there at all for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he's sitting quietly waiting for the crew to come and help him out of the car. You're watching the Molson Indy Montreal, brought to you by Molson Canadian.
Ryan Hunter-Reay has climbed from the car, thankfully A-OK, but at closer inspection, watch his helmet, watch the head, and of course all these drivers are mandated to wear the Hans device, which is designed exactly for that purpose. If you ever take a head-on impact, again, that wasn't super fast, but it's very rare that you'd ever hit anything directly perpendicular or head-on, and you can see the way that goes right back to the driver's neck and helmet. You can see it on his shoulders there, and that has just been a great safety innovation. It could be much worse without that Hans device.
The car nearly cleared away from the scene of the accident. We did go full course yellow. I'm not sure we had established that earlier, but that was the selection of the option by the race control people. We're working on leader lap number 8 with Bourdais in front, followed by Dominguez, Junqueira, Tracy, and Tagliani. Paul Tracy holding on to position number 4 in spite of the fact where he goes, and Nelson Philippe, who had just had a pit stop, has hit the wall and is now stuck in the gravel pit. Maybe
one of the wheels came off. One of the things you would have to be concerned about after a pit stop is whether something came off the car on its own, and sure enough it appears as though they did not get it tight, and that is an embarrassing way to end your day. But it's not necessarily human error. Occasionally when you get these wheel nuts on, they just don't seat properly, and certainly the crews are very careful to be certain that they get things on properly, but they don't always get seated.
Difficult day for him in the warm-up this morning. He backed it into turn 3 pretty hard as he missed the corner completely. Took most of the back of the car off. So Allmendinger, as we mentioned, has cycled to the
3. Bourdais bolting to the lead. One car off. Mario Haberfeld spins. That's Darren Walker's Cummins Reynard pointed in the right direction, headed toward the Bosch Bridge. Cold tires, and it's slick here at times.
It is very slick, and also you have a situation where you get dirt drug across, especially those very flat news sections. There's dirt on both sides of the track, and just the pack of cars going by, the vortex behind it can suck dirt off from the off the track onto the racing surface. And Allmendinger, even though it wasn't a great start, the front 3 guys had already taken off.
Oh, trouble back deeper in the pack.
Nelson
One of my jet cars, Justin Wilson, in trouble. He gets it pointed in the right direction. Rodolfo Levine, looks like they both have been off. There's debris on the racetrack. Wilson having trouble getting that car up to speed.
Well, the wheels are pointing in different directions.
Little slow motion look at it for you. Oriol Servia down through the corkscrew. Let's take a look back, and contact right there. Levine got into Wilson. Guy Smith scrambling with Nelson Philippe to stay out of the way. Another look from further down the hill.
Well, and Wilson even knew he was there and knew he was in trouble and tried to leave him room, and turned as late as he possibly could, but Levine just couldn't get it stopped and drilled him in the left rear.
Gaston Mazzacani going through the dirt. Here's Wilson onto pit road. The MyJack crew will be busy here shortly trying to fix the 34 car and allow Wilson to get back out. Heavy damage to the left front corner of the suspension. He can barely turn the car. Jan Beekes, he's headed your way.
And of course, you can't do much, limping in, and as he comes very close to our position, I will have to say that they are quickly going to give him the international sign with the hand under the throat that this thing is done. In fact, that's what they get right away. Big damage for Justin Wilson
tough break after a very difficult weekend. Derek?
Have a look at this right rear from Alex Tagliani. Just look at the rim. I mean, that is not a light contact. They believe it was contact from Michel Jourdain, and this used to be the red paint on these new softer Bridgestones, but this tire is not going to go any further.
And Sebastian Bourdais in quickly. He was the race leader, Tom. What's going on? We're on lap 2. Bourdais already in.
No idea.
As he rolled by, he had a flat left rear tire.
On lap 80 as the leaders, lap 8 I should say, as the leaders come off turn 11. Mario Dominguez has spun in the Urdez number 55. Dominguez, who's had a great run over the last 4 races, 6th, 5th, 4th, and then 3rd on the podium in Montreal. Logic might tell you he was due for a 2nd place run here today, but doesn't look like it'll play out that way. He spins and brings out a full course yellow. 8th complete, working lap 9. Riding with Allmendinger, who sits 3rd. Tracy's leading has a problem. Bourdais, after the tire pit stop, 14th still, has not been able to get by Mario Aberfeld, and Bourdais 1 lap down.
Wow, there's a lot to sort out here. And then we also had a little mix-up with the pace car. The pace car did not get out in time to pick up the leader. And then it looked like Allmendinger went by both Carpentier and Tracy. Now Tracy's back in front of Allmendinger. He's waving Carpentier by as well to reset the order. So
this happened right off of turn 4 on the outside, and that's one of those slick.
And sometimes they land exactly where you want them to. Sometimes they land a little bit further over to the right. Sometimes they land on Rodolfo Levine's nose.
This was the lap 1 incident that took out Justin Wilson with heavy front end damage. Rodolfo Levine suffering damage to the Indycar Corona car as well. Both those drivers. Levine's back on the track 1 lap down. Dominguez has gotten refired in the 55 car. He was running well in the early going. He's being shown a lap down now in 16th, but we're still under caution, awaiting the restart. Now, Paul Tracy has stayed out there. I would think this would be a perfect opportunity for him to stop, take fuel, and change those tires.
Well, but they already said they're going to shoot for a 2-stop strategy, and so it looks like they're going to roll the dice. I'm surprised he hasn't pulled over closer to the pit wall to give his crew a good look at that right front wing to see how much it's rubbing. They say they're going to monitor it on the telemetry. Well, I've got a news flash for Neil Milkelright. The pressure is going to look fine until there's no pressure when the thing blows out, but I think...
Meantime, trouble for Mario Haberfeld, who was so quick in the morning warm-up. He spun Derek Walker's primary car. Cummins diesel number 5 looks like he's hit the wall. We would expect a caution.
Now this is where it's going to get very interesting, because we're 23 and a half laps from the end, and that's where we break into this fuel mileage. Where to go that, you have to go somewhere between 1.85 and 2.0 miles per gallon if you stop now to make it to the end. So everybody should stop under this caution. But then it's going to be a real tough to see who can go stretch their tank and fuel that long.
It is springtime in Australia. Track temperature's 110 degrees today, so it's very warm. Let's take a look here. Haberfeld just got loose. Didn't hit anything. Locked him up without hitting the wall.
Yeah, but the problem is he didn't keep the engine running.
Oh, he did, and then you see it just lurch right there. He kept it running, then it stalled right
Look.
Locks the brakes, turns into the skid in driver's ed fashion there.
You know, his teammate is David Benet.
Trouble for Michel Jourdain. He's knocked the right rear wheel off, or apparently they didn't get it on tight. It's come off the race car. That's not where you want to see your Bridgestone end up, boys. Jourdain takes the wheel off. He says his day is done. So Jourdain, who was up to 7th after starting 9th in the Agate car for Motorsport Racing, who's going to take the belts off, he'll take the head restraint out of the car, and he has done a long slide through the runoff area, and apparently has tagged the wall and bent the car.
And that is a shame, because he was running very, very well.
Difficult season for Michel Jourdain Jr., and he will look forward to Mexico Central racing for cross country.
There's Bruce Ashmore. Yeah, not impressed at all. Look at, can you imagine the effort of taking these cars halfway around the world? The car is running well, and they make a tiny human error like that to put them out of the race and basically throw all the effort out the window. Jourdain, whose best finish was 4th back in 03, and now they just throw it all away.
And again, you've got to assume here that off pit road, they just didn't get the right rear on tight.
What usually happens is if the car is dropped before the wheel is snugged onto the drive pins, the car will go down and the lug will go on tight, and the
air gun will rattle it on, but the wheel isn't all the way in against the drive pins. So as soon as the load comes off, the wheel pulls away, then the nut loosens up and it comes off.
Great replays here. So not only did he just lose this wheel, he just wrecked the left side suspensions too, front and rear with that hard whack.
As we are under caution, that Bridgestone being retrieved by the safety workers. And take one more look at what happened there. Coming off pit road. Yeah, you can see the wheel nut bouncing down through wheel nuts. Wheel nuts passing the car. And the tire separates with the rim, and it throws him into the wall hard.
And Jourdain knows he's in trouble as soon as he hits the brakes. As soon as he gets in the brake zone, he knows he's in trouble. Feels the wobble, knows he's in trouble, hopes the wheel stays on, that he can maybe drive it back to the pits, but then he just tattoos the wall.
So that will extend our full course caution here. Well, Bridgestone, of course, has done a tremendous job getting a full field's worth of tires to Surfers Paradise. Our Bridgestone mark of excellence this weekend. We talked to Joe Barbieri earlier about what it takes to field all the tires you need here at Surfers Paradise. Take another look at it. He was offline. Put a wheel on the grass.
Yeah, he got the front and then he swerved and then the rear caught the grass and wow, he's lucky.
Lucky there's a big runoff area there.
Yep, lucky he had a 17-second lead.
Take another look.
Oh, he did himself a big favor. He gassed it going backwards, which stopped him short of those tires.
Bourdais incredibly heads up.